Good evening, I'm John Carter. Welcome to Poland Daily. The former post-communist Prime Minister Włodzimierz Cimoszewicz has commented on Jewish property claims against Poland via TVN. He stated that neither Morawiecki nor Kaczynski will take away the heirs' right to claim their property using due legal court process. Law and Justice leader Kaczynski replied that the rightful heirs have their full right to claim their inheritance, but as far as the claims for the heirless property go, only the Law and Justice Party can guarantee that Poland will not pay these claims.
Włodzimierz Cimoszewicz is first on the European coalition election ballot for the upcoming EU elections. He called the Polish government statements regarding the 447 bill a lie. The Law and Justice chairman described such rhetoric as a declaration to pay the Jewish claims.
Ta wypowiedź ma jeszcze jedną.
Those statements have this peculiar flavor where you feel aversion to Poland and Poles. It is astonishing that no one from the coalition has dissociated themselves from it. Therefore, we have to treat this as the official stance of the European coalition. The only guarantee to fight with the unfounded claims to heirless property is the power of our party, the Law and Justice. In addition to the financial burden, the unfounded claims will make Poland look like we were Hitler's allies.
Sojusznikiem Hitlera.
Kukiz 15 movement politicians still want the anti-447 bill, which was taken off the parliament agenda last week, to be introduced. What would happen if, say, in 20-30 years, someone's propaganda tells the world that Poland is guilty of the Second World War atrocities, and therefore Poland owes restitution payments to the Holocaust victims? We have to protect ourselves. We have to make that anti-447 bill in Poland. His sentence was that Poland does not want to make payments because someone is a Jew. Those words are scandalous. When I hear such words from a candidate who is number one on his party's list for the EU elections, my blood is boiling. The Jewish claims for heirless property are, along with the discussion about pedophilia in the Catholic Church, the main topics of the soon-to-end EU election campaign. The issue of compensation is being pushed hard by some of the Jewish organizations headed by the World Jewish Congress. They are also supported by the ministers of the Israeli government.
Professor Elżbieta Chojna-Duch, the former Polish Deputy Minister of Finance for Civic Platform and the Polish People's Party, testified for the second time in front of the Parliamentary Commission investigating VAT tax fraud today. More on the matter from the Polish Parliament from Aleksandra Żarzycka.
The state tax system was being dismantled between 2010 and 2015, which pushed forward 18 legal acts, which in consequence loosened the system, Professor Elżbieta Chojna-Duch said during her testimony in front of the Commission today. In her opinion, these acts were not circumstantial. The former Deputy Minister of Finance testified for the second time, since the Commission wanted to confront her testimony with the questioning of, for example, Minister Jacek Rostowski. Professor Chojna-Duch confirmed that there were unofficial meetings concerning the reform of the tax system. She also added that the actions of the government at that time were supposed to fix the situation at hand and not change the system as a whole. Zbigniew Konwiński from the Civic Platform Party evaluates the witness's words as unreliable, arguing that she opposed the abolishing of the 30% VAT sanction many times. However, she did sign the documents concerning the abolishment. What's more, the former Deputy Minister of Finance testified that there was pressure to abolish the sanction and that she was lied to by the European division of the ministry that the sanction was against EU laws. The fact that the losses from VAT tax income got larger and larger during that time is undeniable. In their reports, many organizations like the International Monetary Fund, World Bank and the European Commission warned Poland, which was one of the countries with the biggest VAT tax gap, that there was something wrong. It was pretty obvious. The biggest gaps were in 2009 and then 2013. It grew systematically. The testimony of Mrs. Chojna-Duch is very unbelievable, since there is no evidence of what she said in the documents we, the Commission, have. Other witnesses don't confirm what she said previously, nor do they confirm what she said today. The time between 2008 and 2010 is the time when the tax system was being dismantled. From 2010 to 2015 it was decomposing further, getting worse and worse with very little effort made to fix it, which was usually too late anyway. In my opinion, with such wide, coordinated actions, it's impossible no one knew about this.
przy takiej skali koordynacji działań, że były one nieświadome.
Poprzednie zeznanie Elżbiety Hojnej-Duch.
The previous testimony of Elżbieta Hojna-Duch resulted in the Commission reporting the possibility of a crime being committed by Jacek Rostowski and Sławomir Nowak to the state prosecution. Today, an MP of the Kukiz 15 movement, Błażej Parda, reported the possibility of false testimony being given by Paweł Graś, who stated that he never had a seat on the board of one of the private companies, while the National Court Register states otherwise, which can prove the entire testimony of Paweł Graś to be false.
Jednej z prywatnych spółek.
The Presidium of the Polish Episcopal Conference debated the issue of paedophilia in the Catholic Church today. The bishops announced plans for a systemic answer to the issue of sexual abuse of minors by priests. This Sunday, a letter on the issue will be read to the faithful in churches all across Poland.
In the working document adopted by the Presidium of the Polish Episcopal Conference, the hierarchs pledged to create a system of warnings that would prevent pedophile crimes in the Church.
Na pewno pierwszą rzeczą, na jaką zwracał
The first issue that this project focuses on is the issue of the Church's attitude towards helping the victims. We have a lot to improve on that level. The film made by the Sikielski brothers made that very clear. We must create a professional system of reporting the crimes. This project also foresees a strong focus on prevention.
systemu.
The bishop's letter to the faithful will be read this Sunday. In it, they admit that, as pastors of the Church, they did not do everything possible to prevent the harm associated with the sexual abuse of minors by the clergy.
W czasie też tej Rady Stałej
During the conference, a letter to the faithful was written and approved. This is the first document and a clear message after the film by the Sikielski brothers and the revelations uncovered as a result of its publishing.
we wszystkich parafiach.
Jakub Jałowiczor, a columnist for the Gość Niedzielny Weekly, says there is no other way to resolve the issue of pedophilia in the Catholic Church than for the Church to cooperate with the state.
W Warszawie, gdzie mamy...
In Warsaw, we have a commission composed of 2 lay and clergy lawyers to explain this matter, which the Sikielski brothers showed in their film. I think that this is the direction we should go in. It is difficult to precisely indicate how such an institution should look, but the environment will most likely not clean itself up. It is necessary to act with someone from outside.
jest działanie z kimś z zewnątrz.
During the conference, the bishops also spoke about the implementation of the rules introduced by Pope Francis, published on May 9th. The document contains regulations regarding the actions that ought to be undertaken in cases of minors being sexually abused by clergymen. Those norms are set to be implemented in the whole of the Catholic Church on June 1st this year.
British Prime Minister Theresa May has presented a new deal for the United Kingdom to leave the European Union. The new Brexit deal is similar to the previous one, already rejected 3 times by the Houses of Commons, although it does contain some corrections in the hope of convincing its opponents. May, who continues to portray the 17.4 million who voted to leave, stated that if MPs keep voting against her deal, it would show that they were against Brexit.
Order. Statement. The Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Theresa May has allowed the possibility of a second referendum regarding the exit of the United Kingdom from the European Union. The potential referendum is to be included in the new draft withdrawal agreement. However, Brits will only be able to go back to the polls if Parliament adopts an agreement negotiated by Theresa May.
So to those MPs who want a second referendum to confirm the deal, I say you need a deal and therefore a withdrawal agreement bill to make it happen. Let it have its second reading and then make your case to Parliament.
May expressed her hope that thanks to significant changes such as maintaining EU standards in the protection of workers' rights and the environment, the new agreement with the European Union would finally get the green light in the British Parliament.
If we are going to deliver Brexit in this Parliament, we are going to have to pass a withdrawal agreement bill. And we will not do so without holding votes on the issues that have divided us the most. That includes votes on customs arrangements and on a second referendum. We can pretend otherwise and carry on arguing and getting nowhere.
Prime Minister May's new proposal is supported by ministers of her cabinet.
I think everyone should take the opportunity to read the bill when it's published later today and to listen to the Prime Minister in the House of Commons. There are fundamentally 3 choices for the country. We can either leave the European Union without a deal, or we can stay in the European Union and have no Brexit, or we can leave with a deal.
The opposition, which broke off talks with the government last week, is critical of the new Brexit agreement. Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn already announced that his party will not be voting in favour of the deal.
All she's offering is a temporary customs union, essentially until the end of the transition period. She's not offering a permanent customs union, which is the fundamental point that we've made throughout the talks that we had with her. And we broke the talks off because they simply were not making progress, because the government was not changing its red lines.
MPs have so far rejected Theresa May's Brexit deal proposal 3 times. The next vote in the House of Commons is planned for the beginning of June. The United Kingdom has until October 31st to leave the European Union.
The Podkarpacia region in southwestern Poland has been subject to heavy rain. The region has witnessed severe thunderstorms. Meteorologists have warned that weather conditions are set to worsen. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki requested firefighters, paramedics and territorial defence units be on red alert and assured that all people at risk will receive help swiftly.
The Institute of Meteorology says that in the next 24 hours the situation could get really dangerous. I have therefore requested that all emergency services be ready and local authorities should organize their units in accordance with the expected problems. The help should be accessible to all citizens and we will make sure that situation is under control. I understand that all the units and services will cooperate.
Thank you very much for joining us here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily Weather. It's followed by the business, culture, history and the travel.